After the last video where I ranted about how many Let's Players misuse Twitter, I got a lot of followers. The video was retweeted and favorited a lot. And within about 48 hours, I gained about 20 new followers on Twitter, which for someone with less than 200 followers, and I'm not actively trying to get new followers, that's actually a pretty substantial amount. 20 in 48 hours, my phone was buzzing quite often. And I proceeded to do what I always do. I began looking at all of their tweets and their profile and their YouTube channels to determine whether I wanted to actually follow them or maybe even subscribe to them. I always go into these relationships assuming the best. I'm assuming these people are following me because they are actually interested in me and what I have to say, not just to poke me with a stick, as I've said in the past. But what I found was obviously quite the opposite, and exactly what I expected. Let me give you a vague summary of some of the channels and Twitter profiles that I found of people that were following me. And these were people that not only did they follow me, but after I followed them back, they proceeded to send me the coveted Twitter direct message saying, hey, check out my channel. Now, some of them said it better than others, but regardless, they all wrote back to me with a link to their channel. A lot of what I saw was odd Twitter numbers. One, for instance, had 400 tweets and yet 13,000 followers. How does one gain 13,000 followers with only 400 tweets? When that sort of thing happens, it's clear that the person isn't using Twitter the right way. It's clear that they're not following you for your content. They're following you to try and boost their following number. It's the idea of following people and being followed just to give you the appearance of being larger than you actually are. So this person who had 400 tweets and 13,000 followers, I checked out their YouTube, and they had 3,000 subs, averaging 70 views per video. Again, there was another person I found that had odd Twitter numbers with 1,500 tweets and 7,000 followers and follows. Then I checked out their YouTube, and they had 2,600 subs, but only averaging 55 views per video. Another one had really impressive Twitter numbers, 12,000 tweets, and then more than 25,000 follows and followers. So they must be really popular, right? Well, I go to check out their YouTube. Indeed, they had 10,000 subscribers, averaging 140 views per video. How does a channel with 10,000 subscribers only manage to pull in 140 views per video? Another person had 2,000 tweets and over 40,000 followers. On YouTube, they had 12,000 subscribers with an average view of 540. And we've got two more to look at here. Another person with 1,500 tweets. This time they were following and were being followed by 10,000 people. Now let's think about that for a second. In my opinion, anyone who is following more than, I'm going to be generous and say, if they're following more than 1,000 people, they're not actually following those people. They're either following them for selfish reasons, the poking them with a stick, as I call it, or they're following them to be polite, and they're actually just using lists to keep track of the people they actually want to follow. Either way, I don't dig that. If I'm following you, that truly means I'm actually interested in what you're tweeting. And as soon as you start tweeting stuff that I don't want to see, I'll unfollow you. So this person with 10,000 followers on YouTube had 2,500 subs, but only averaging 70 views per video. Are you noticing a trend? This specific person actually blamed his lack of views on subscriber burn. But is that really to blame? We'll look at that probably next week. But to give you an idea of my thoughts on that, his views are consistently around 70 until you go back as far as 6 months. Prior to that, it's 5 to 6 months of slow, normal growth. There was no sign of a time when viewers inconspicuously stopped watching. And finally, the cream of the crop was a user with less than 100 tweets, 4,000 followers, 4,000 people they followed, and when I checked them on YouTube, they had 37,000 subscribers. So surely this person must get a lot of views, right? Of course, again, we all know the outcome. They had 450 average views, so 37,000 subscribers and 450 average views. All of these people with tons of follows and followers are missing the point. Based on these numbers, this tactic clearly doesn't work. If your mission on Twitter is to get more followers, you're doing it wrong. If your mission on YouTube is to get more subscribers, you're doing it wrong. It's all a big back scratching party. Everyone's walking around scratching each other's backs, not really getting anything done. People are so fixated on getting more followers and getting more subscribers that they miss the whole point. What good is my subscription to you if I don't come back to watch again? But all of that is not even the main point I want to make in this video. I want to stress the importance of knowing your customer. And let me clarify something. I'm only using the term customer because it's what these people view you as. I don't view other people as customers. They're potential viewers, sure. But to them, everyone is nothing but someone they can just pitch their product to. So, customers. So, what do I mean by know your customer? Let me give you a real world example of something that's going on in my life right now. At my day job, I'm the IT guy and I'm in charge of the copier equipment and stuff like that. Well, I recently had this young, arrogant sales rep from a different copier company than the one we use come into my office and start, trying to get me to test out one of their copiers and let's talk numbers and all this stuff. And every time we're talking, I'll tell him, okay, well, I'll have to get with so-and-so on that. That probably won't be until next week. I'll let you know. And then he said, okay, I'll come check in with you on Monday. No. I will email you. And it's like he doesn't even pay attention to the fact that I don't want him to come to the office. I want to email him. I'm not going to ignore him. I'm going to email him. So what does he do? I'll email him, and then he shows up at my doorstep 2 hours later to answer the email. And so that whole conversation ends with me saying, well, I'll have to check with the finance lady to get the invoice. I'll get back with you. I'll email you the invoice. Okay, well, I'll come back next week, maybe Monday, and see if I can get it. No, I will email it to you. This guy, I can tell you right now, he's not going to get a sale. Because he's not getting the drift that I'm sick of him showing up unannounced at my doorstep. I want to have communication with him through email or phone or whatever, smoke signal for all I care, but quit showing up unannounced. He's not grasping the concept that this is not how I want you to sell me your product. So how does this relate to Twitter? Well, if these people who followed me last weekend, if they had just taken a minute to look at my feed and my channel before following me, they would have understood my feelings about things like sending automated DMs or even personalized DMs that have the link to your channel in them. But they didn't take the time to look. We as Let's Players need to understand that people are different. And no Let's Player should implement one specific method of marketing our channel to everyone, because everyone is unique. They should easily be able to look at my profile, especially last week, and see, whoa, this guy just made a video bashing people who send DMs with their channel before introducing themselves. Maybe I shouldn't do that. They didn't even take the time. They didn't care. Because here's the thing, they don't really care about what I'm posting in the first place. They only followed me to market their channel to me. The idea of using Twitter to create lasting relationships is foreign to them. Unfortunately for them, this makes me very frustrated. Also, unfortunately for them, according to the numbers, I don't see this helping their channel at all. In fact, it very much hurts them. Like I said in the last video, when you do nothing but push your channel in people's faces, you cease being human. You cease being an actual person with real feelings and real emotion. You're not actually interacting with people. You're not even treating them like real people. You're a broken record or a toy with a pull string saying the same thing over and over and over again to anyone who will listen to it. Fortunately for those people, there are lots of other pull string toys out there just like them, and they're all pretending to follow each other by the thousands just to give each other the appearance that their channel is worth anything. They think they can become popular by creating this facade that makes them look big. But it's not that hard to see the man behind the curtain, the man that's using smoke and lights and mirrors to scare us into thinking he's some all-powerful Let's Play wizard who is blessing us with a follow, when in all actuality, he's cheating and deceiving his way through life.